Hello everyone, and welcome to a very impromptu episode of Classy Whale. I don't even know if I'm going to post this. I'm just kind of running my camera, seeing what will happen. Today, SEPTA released a couple of proposals for redesigning their regional rail network. I have not seen them yet, but I'm going to start a screen recorder here and then take a look at all of them and offer my thoughts. So here we go. Okay, so here we have scenario 1, which is called regional coverage. The idea is to basically run about as they currently do, just running more trains. We have trains every 15 minutes between Penn Medicine and Glenside, and then every 30 minutes everywhere else. What's interesting to me here right off the bat is Kenwood gets trains every 30 minutes now. Kind of runs a little bit more like a, not quite like a metro system, but something like BART, which is frequent for commuter rail. I don't know if SEPTA currently has express service other than on the Paoli-Thorndale line. Having just a full express network, at least to my untrained eye, pun intended, seems like a decent idea. Works for Metro North. Okay, so scenario 2 looks a lot more complicated, so let's try to figure this out. It's imagining a system where there is a new part of SEPTA Metro that uses regional rail tracks but runs like a subway. There is a train every 15 minutes all day, every day. You do not even need to look at a schedule. Okay, that's a little generous. I feel like if there's a train every 15 minutes, you still kind of need to look at a schedule. If it's every like 3 or 4 minutes, you just show up and get on the next train. But 15 minutes, you kind of have to plan around that. Station platforms are at train height, please. And trains have room for bikes, wheelchairs, strollers, and luggage. I mean, that's kind of the case now. Ooh, they're branding this as Silver Line. I guess inspired by Silverliners? 15-minute trains to Radnor, Norristown, Chestnut Hill East, Glenside, Airport, Media, and Chester. I can get behind this, kind of. I definitely feel like the Chestnut Hill East line, when I wrote it, felt like it should be a metro of some kind. It didn't feel like regional rail. It didn't even leave the city. Now, one major drawback of the plan here is that we kind of go to a Metro North style of outer, like, shuttle trains and then sort of inner network trains, which, on the one hand, that can boost capacity through Center City. But that does mean that unless you're traveling rush hour peak direction, there's a lot of people who are not commuting. They're just taking the train to do other stuff. They're now going to have to transfer at Radnor or at Chester or at Glenside. And I don't know. I'm used to the idea of having just like a single train you get on, no matter how close you are to Philly or how far away you are from Philly. Just a single train you get on, and then you take that into Center City. Simple as that. I think having the transfer might confuse some people. Then again, there is historic precedent for this because back in the day, the trains used to terminate at Media, and then you'd get on another train to Westchester. So it's been done, but I feel like it might confuse some riders. Kenwood's back down to 60 minutes, still better than what it has right now. I feel like this one would benefit some of their highest ridership corridors at the detriment of making the system confusing for everybody else. Not to mention, I don't know if all of the infrastructure in the Center City Tunnel is currently capable of handling this many trains at once. So now for number 3. Service combines SEPTA and Amtrak, and the same ticket windows work for both. I was actually just talking in the comments with somebody about this, where I was saying, I think the Keystone needs to get on the key card. And they were saying, oh, it's going to be difficult to integrate and what have you. And, to be fair, it would be. But it's interesting to see they're actually using my idea. I intend to make sure they pay me royalties for that. Anyways, let's take a look at the map. So we have the purple train, which is like the current SEPTA regional rail. Kenwood's back down to 30 minutes. The green trains are like integrated Amtrak, but also SEPTA. I'm intrigued to see how this would work. And then there's the Atlantic City line that somehow got in there, so maybe that's, New Jersey Transit integrated in with SEPTA, or that becomes a SEPTA service or an Amtrak service. I mean, it would be cool to be able to tap your key card at Lancaster and then just ride the system that way. You could do like a Hartford line situation where some of the trains are SEPTA, some of the trains are Amtrak Keystone. That could be really interesting. But I'd love to see like more information as to how this would work. I like it as a concept. I like it better than the second one. I would say that the first option, the regional coverage model, is the most realistic. You just run more trains. That's about the only major change. Maybe you rejigger the schedule a bit. Plan 2, they have to rebuild the entire system basically, and then create this really complicated schedule. And this is on top of already sort of doing the SEPTA Metro rebrand. This could end up being very confusing for riders. There could be some major teething problems, and ultimately it could create a needlessly complex service. Whereas this service, or this map already is going to increase the frequency with more similar service patterns to what people are used to. And this one, I just need to know more about it. I want to see sort of what people are thinking about. Again, I love the idea of a Keystone turned Hartford line kind of situation, as a collaborative effort where, some of the trains from Lancaster to Philly are SEPTA, some of them are Amtrak. Does it benefit the Philly area commuter? I'm not sure, because from these smaller stations, we still have trains only every 60 minutes. That would mean that places like Haverford or other stations that don't have the express service or the Keystone are going to have less frequent service than the Kinwood line. So, not sure how well I like that. I prefer, I think, just giving everybody service, every 30 minutes. I'm going to have to say my favorite is the most boring option out of the bunch because, it's not going to fix everything, but it's going to improve things in a realistic way across the entire system. But if this happens, I wouldn't be too sad. Anyway, thank you for watching Classy Whale. Hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble. I'll be back with some actual content in the near future. Take care.